My dear friends, we are celebrating the feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. The scapular devotion and the presence of Our Lady has been so powerful and great in the Catholic Church. The popes have written at great length about the scapular and the scapular devotion. It is said almost 27 popes have written more than 400 documents explaining the scapular spirituality, the privileges of the Holy Scapular, and devotion to our Blessed Mother. They wrote not because they were standing in a place of position and because of which they were forced to write. No, they wrote because of their personal devotion and love towards the Blessed Mother. In the Gospel of John chapter 19, Jesus on the cross entrusts the beloved disciple to Mother Mary, saying, "Woman, behold your son." And he turns to his beloved disciple and says, "Behold your mother." The word of God says, and the disciple took her to his home. Mary was literally accepted by the Catholic Church as the Mother of God and as the Mother of Church. And she has ever since taken care of the Church. We can see her powerful presence and her protection in the life of the Church ever since the apostolic times, down the ages up to today. There are several Marian apparitions, of which one is the apparition of Our Lady of Mount Carmel to Saint Simon Stock, giving him the Carmelite scapular, when she says, "This is the garment that I have won for you. Wear this. This is the sign of my protection and my privilege. And whosoever dies wearing this shall not suffer eternal fire, but will be saved by me." This is a promise given by Mother Mary to Simon Stock. So the first Carmelites who were inspired by this wore the Carmelite scapular, and they shared the spirit of the Carmelite scapular with the people. They cut pieces of their garment. It was stitched to a thread with 2 pieces of brown cloth on either side of the thread, which could be worn around the neck, the popular scapular that we wear today. All this shows how the Carmelite scapular had become such a powerful presence in the life of the Church. But my dear friends, this is not all of it. Today, when we speak about the Carmelite scapular, the popes, especially the popes of the present century, have great experience about the Carmelite scapular. I think we should start from Pope John 22nd, who gave us the Sabbatean privilege. Of course, it was not something that was invented by him. It was a popular piety and faith that was existing in the Church. But Pope John 22nd made it an official thing. It says, "Mary will come, she will deliver you from the purgatory," on a Saturday. So it became a part of the life of the Church. Following this, Pope Pius XI says that I started loving the Virgin of the scapular from the very arms of my mother. So he says, even as a little child, I had this great devotion to Our Lady of Mount Carmel and the scapular. So this scapular privilege was further extended when he says to those who were members of the scapular fraternity, he says, now live this life of the scapular and the promises that come with it. So have great dedication to her life and to the promises that come with the scapular. Later, we can also see in the life of Pope Pius XII, he says the scapular is a reminder of the humility, the purity, and the simplicity of the Blessed Virgin Mary. So the popes have had great devotion. I'm just reducing them to 3 or 4 popes. But most importantly, I wish to speak to you about the scapular devotion and the confidence that Pope John Paul II had in our Blessed Mother. When John Paul II was shot, it was on 13th of May in the year 1981. It was actually the feast of Our Lady of Fatima. He was shot on that day, and he was wearing his scapular on that day. When he was taken for operation, he said, "Do not remove the scapular." This was also testified by a Carmelite friar later, that Saint John Paul II insisted that his scapular remains around his neck even as the operation or surgery was going on, which is not supposed to be allowed according to the medical ethics. But he insisted that his scapular be there, because he believed that he was protected by the Blessed Mother. Because on the 13th of October, when Mother Mary appeared to the 3 children in Fatima in the year 1917, she appeared as Our Lady of Mount Carmel, clothed in the brown habit and holding a brown scapular in her hand. And this devotion was very much to the heart of Pope John Paul II. And therefore, Pope John Paul would say later, our Blessed Mother always wanted her children to be clothed in the right garment. Just like a diligent mother takes care of the children and makes sure that they are wearing the right garment, Holy Mother, Blessed Mother, she takes care that we, the children of God, and her children are wearing the right dress, the right clothes, which is the scapular, and it's also a symbol of the protection of God and the culture of heaven, and we are thereby clothed in divine virtues. That's what he says. Our Blessed Mother clothes us in divine virtues. And for any matter, when our clothes are torn, just like our mother would take care by stitching our clothes and mending us, our Holy Mother will make sure that when we are worn down by sin and other imperfections, she would build up our spiritual life, making sure that we are in no way tattered, but then we are made ready and made holy. So this is the protection Holy Mother, the Holy Scapular, entrusts to us. And Pope John Paul II testifies to it that he had always had this great devotion ever since his childhood, and he had always wearing this Holy Scapular ever since he was a little boy. And later, when he was addressing the Carmelites, he would later say in this way, you know, the scapular that you wear is not just meant to be a sign of piety. It's not just some devotion and some prayers, but rather it should be a habit. It should be a continuous habit, a continuous disposition towards the virtues that our Blessed Mother is passing on to us. You know, when the Holy Scapular is worn, he says it should lead us to a habit of constant prayer, constant life of devotion, then life of sacraments, confession, spiritual and corporal works of mercy. Thereby, he says that when we are wearing the Holy Scapular, we become very sensitive to the presence and the life of Holy Virgin Mary in our lives. Look at the words he uses. We become sensitive to the presence of the Blessed Virgin Mary in our lives. This is what he says. So, as a matter of fact, when I am wearing the Holy Scapular, I am always feeling the presence of the Blessed Virgin Mary around me, a protection within my life, and making sure that I am not taken away by the culture of the world, but I am rather attracted to the culture of heaven. Because the Holy Scapular is not a human garment, it is a divine garment given by the Queen of Heaven. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, when we wear this Holy Scapular, we are invited to live a life of heaven, a culture of heaven, a divine culture. Thereby, this Holy Scapular becomes a challenge as much as it is a privilege. When we enjoy all the protection from our Blessed Mother, it also becomes a challenge for us. Why? What is the challenge? The challenge is to live the culture of heaven. The challenge is to live like the Blessed Virgin Mary, enrobed in her virtues. The virtue of humility, the virtue of purity, and the virtue of simplicity, as Pope Pius XII would say. Therefore, let us be clothed in these virtues of the Blessed Virgin Mary and live exemplary life fitting for the scapular. Let this celebration of the feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel be a memorable one and a holy experience. Wish you all, once again, all the blessings of the day.